What's going on, guys? It is Shay here. Welcome back to another video, and today, everybody, I'm going to be doing my very own tier list of all the characters that were featured in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stardust Crusaders, aka JoJo's Bizarre Adventures Part 3. Now, this is my all-time favorite part in JoJo. Now, for anybody who's watched this channel before may know that I don't watch anime. Anime is not my thing, but, some time ago, I decided to start watching the show. And I've only heard of this, I've only known of the show because of the memes at one point in time, but when you watch the show, it's actually really freaking good. So, with that being said, let's begin! Okay, so the first character that we have here on this list is Alessi. So, this is the guy who had the stand where he's able to basically turn adults back into kids. And the whole thing about his stand is kind of like, the longer you stand within that shadow, or in that, within the shadow of his stand, the more you freaking shrink down. I like the way his stand is basically kind of like, if you were like a protagonist using that type of stand, you'd be able to easily shrink the freaking dude back, or whoever you're fighting back into like, like a baby or some crap. That's if you want to. But me personally, I don't really find Alessi all that appealing because he got his ass beat by Jotaro when he was a kid anyway, so I'm going to put him at a D. He was an okay stand user, but other than that, Next up we have here is Anne, who is the stowaway on the ship that the Joestar crew were on going to Singapore. I remember I made a video like this before, but I never actually finished it, but it was when they were going to I said when they were going to Indonesia. I meant to say Singapore. But yeah, she was a stowaway on the ship, and I personally find her to be really unnecessary to the plot line. I mean, like, I saw a bunch of comments on, like, a video where it was actually kind of, like, one person was, like, the worst JoJo part ever. And it was basically explaining the scene where she was in it. And that one scene where she got, where the orangutan was preying on her, which still made me uncomfortable when I watched the episode. But we're going to get to him in a minute. But me personally, I don't really find her useful to the story whatsoever. She was just a freaking 12-year-old, or however old she is. She looks about 12. The more you think about it, she looks like 8. But apparently everybody's saying she's 12. So we're going to stick with that. So, yeah, I personally don't find her, like, I don't really find a reason for her to even be in the story. So, yeah, we're going to put her at a D right where Alessi is. Next up we have here is Anubis, who is, in a way, a stand, who has a mind of its own. And you rarely ever, well, I haven't seen it. I'm pretty sure a lot of JoJo fans probably have, but, well, I don't even know if they exist, but yeah, this is one of the very few stands that have a mind on it, that basically have a mind of its own, to the point where it's like, it's in a form of an object. And in Anubis' case, if you pick up the sword that, has him inside it, and you draw it from the sheath that it's in, or holster, you know what I mean? But if you draw it from the sheath that it's in, you're automatically possessed by it. Even if you get a small chunk, even when the blade is cut, you're still gonna get possessed by him. So, I personally found that to be kind of cool. I mean, he even possessed Polnareff, which, I mean, imagine if the thing would have possessed, like, one of the main characters, like, that were really, really essential to the story, like Kakyoin or somebody. Actually, I think at this time, Kakyoin wasn't with them, I think. But I personally found, I was going to say Alessi, Anubis to be pretty cool of a character. Sand concept's kind of cool as well. So, we're going to put him at a C. We're going to put him right there. He's going to stay there for right now. Next up we have here is, apparently his name is called Arabia Fats. I'm just going to call him the guy who got hit in the head by a big-ass rock. This is the guy who has the stand, the sun, where, pretty much in the episode where Kakyoin, Jotaro, and Polnareff were, like, laughing their fucking asses off because they weren't laughing because of the heat. They were laughing because of rock they were seeing. It was like two of the same rocks. They had the same freaking reflection. And when started playing through the rock, through the mirror, dude got that freaking big old bump on his forehead. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, he almost got away with it at one point. I'm getting Snapchat messages. But other than that, we're going to put him at a D right there because, I never knew he had a name. Well, he just probably doesn't have a name, bro. I think people just gave him the name. So the next character that we have here is Mohammed Avdol, who is probably by far my favorite supporting character. Like, side characters, I guess, you know what I'm saying? Like, a character that's not necessarily quintessential to the storyline, but, I mean, he's one of my favorite side characters, probably besides Kakyoin, but, I mean, freaking Avdol, man, freaking really respectful. Like, I have a feeling like if I were to ever meet this guy in real life, even though he's technically dead in the show, but if I were to ever meet this guy in real life, I have a feeling he would be the most respectful guy ever. most respectful guy ever. But me, like, for that reason, I'm gonna put him probably at an A. We're gonna put him at an A because this dude's freaking awesome, really respectful. You know, he doesn't like, you know, all the crap that Joseph and Polnareff likes to do, like, you know, try to hit on women and crap. Like, I do respect that fact he doesn't like doing that, because I think he said that it actually, he also doesn't like gambling either when they were fighting against Darby, the older Darby. I do like how he said, you know, he didn't want to gamble because he gets really emotional or something like that when he gambles. So that's kind of cool. That's the reason why I like Abdul, dude. This dude is really respectful even when it comes to fighting. Next character that we have here is Boingo, or what, Mondada is the localized name, but I'm going to call him the name that's in the anime, and that is indeed Boingo. This is the younger brother to the Oingo and Boingo gang. Freaking writing comic books or predicting the future with your own little bitty comic book. What was it called? The Toast is what the stand was called. I forgot it, but I don't really find I guess it kind of predicted. I will say one thing though, like with the scene where, you know, he was writing and then it showed how the Joestar crew were all supposed to get killed. It showed Jotaro having his face split open, and I haven't watched part 6 yet, and I don't plan on watching part 6 because I've been hearing that it's not worth watching. But in the thing, it actually predicted the death of Jotaro, like how he would die in the future with his face being split open. So, yeah, I mean, I guess I could put Boingo at a C, I guess. Next up that we have here is the guy, what is his name? I just researched up his name. It's the guy who brung back Polnareff's sister and brung back Abdul from the dead. I forgot his name, but, I mean, freaking controlling the stand from underground is all cool, but I mean, you might want to be aware what comes down that thing. I mean, the breathing, I mean, I guess you can see the breathing pipe thing, I guess, but I don't know, but yeah, I'm putting him at a D. Next character we have here is Captain Tenile, or Captain Tenile, however you say his name. This is the tentacle imposter version of the actual captain that was on the ship in episode 6. He has a stand called Cool Blue Moon. I think that's what the actual stand name is. I'm just gonna call it Blue Moon if I'm incorrect. But I don't know, like if it weren't for him like doing these posing and dancing bull crap, like all of that crap on the plane, on the ship, then I don't think they probably would have, or if he would not have like been like, oh wow, like Stan, like, you know, kind of giving into what the Joestar crew were all talking about. If it weren't for that, I'm pretty sure he probably could have gotten away with them, probably could have taken them all out, but he was an okay villain for when he was still alive, so because of that, we're going to put him at a D. Next character we have here, if I'm correct, I'm trying to look at this character actually. If I'm correct, I think that is Chaka, who is the guy, or the first guy that Anubis possessed. If I'm correct, it looks exactly like him. I can't tell. And I really hope I'm not incorrect, but just in case that if I am correct, we're gonna put him at a C, because I have no idea if he really is, you know, if it really is Chaka. I'm not sure. Next character we have here is Daniel Darby, the original or the older version or the older Darby brother. Expert gambler. He only likes to gamble. He likes to gamble for fun. He's a pretty cool gambler. But let's say that in that episode, Jotaro did look at his cards and found out, oh wow, my cards are useless. I have no idea how to fucking play poker, so I wouldn't even understand. But I bet if he found out, oh my god, these cards are useless, or if he didn't bet everybody else's freaking lives on the line, then I'm pretty sure Darby probably would have won. But I'm not necessarily a big fan of the older Darby brother. I'm not a big fan of either one of them. But yeah, we're gonna put him there, and we're already here with his younger brother, who was Terrence Darby, and just like his older brother, I'm gonna put him at a D as well, because why not? Next character we have here is Devo, or Debo, how the Japanese like to call him. He is the guy who tried killing Polnareff early on in the show, where he was able to attack him, the only way you could see him, or if you're a stand user yourself, the only way you could see him is if you look through the mirrors. So, I don't know. He was actually pretty cool, because that's like the only way you could, because like, let's say that he was trying to kill somebody who wasn't a stand user, he could literally succeed, like, no matter what happens. Like, he could literally succeed because they can't see his stand, like, through the mirror or whatever. But yeah, I would personally think that, you know, if he were trying to kill somebody that wasn't a stand user, he would easily be able to kill them. So we're going to put him at a C. Next up we have here is Dio Brando, or simply just known as Dio. This is Dio, I guess, 100 years after, or many years after part 1. And this is, you know, his, I guess, his final form, I guess, what he is in the show. I don't know, like, the world and stuff, I mean, he was pretty cool and stuff. I mean, he's the final boss of part 3, but, and I take it he never comes back. I take it that he doesn't come back at all, but yeah, Dio, I personally think he's he was really cool in part 1, even though part 1's my least favorite part of the whole series. But I mean, me personally, he's like way more OP in this than he was in part 1. Well, of course, because he didn't have a stand back, because stands weren't a thing back in part 1. But he's still as evil as ever in part 3. So because of that, we're going to put him at a B, because, I mean, why not? The next character we have here is Enyaba, or Enya the Hag, who is the mother of the guy who has the hanged man. What's his name? Jay Guile or something like that. But this is the woman who is the mother of that kid. She, I think, also has two right hands, I think, but I think one of them was cut off. I don't know. But also, I actually found out that her English voice actor is voice acted by Barbara Goodson, who is the voice actress, I think even the actress for Rita Repulsa in Power Rangers. And mind you, I am a huge Power Ranger fan. So when I found that, because I knew her voice sounded really familiar to me in the English dub. Random tangent, I'm sorry about that. But yeah, but her character, I will say that, I mean, a mother gotta do what she gotta do to go freaking get her. Well, I would say that's a different story if her son was only injured. Now, you know, I don't know what a mother would do if her son died, you know, stuff like that. But I mean, her son died for good reason. This dude was a horrible person. But I mean, a mother gotta do what a mother has to do what she has to do, right? So yeah, and because of that, like, to the feats that she went to try to kill the Joestar crew is fucking huge. What's her name? The stand name for hers. I forgot her name. It was Judgment, right? I think it was Judgment. But other than that, she was a pretty cool character, actually. Anyways, but the next character we have is probably by far my least favorite character in the entire part of Stardust Crusaders, and that is indeed Forever, who is the orangutan that I guess has the stand strength, who is the big ship. The only reason I don't like him is because he preyed on a minor, which is really disgusting. He's probably by far my least favorite character, only for the simple fact that he, in a way, is a pedophile. He's a pedophilic orangutan. So that's the whole reason why I don't like him. And also, this dude this dude is probably the most bipolar character I've ever seen in the show. Probably aside from some of the more supporting characters in the show. But in terms of an enemy stand user, he's probably by far the one that is the most easily ticked off. Like, yeah, like, well, for anybody who watched the episode where, you know, Jotaro killed him, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. So, yeah, because of that, he's going directly to the Shadow Realm. Next character we have here is the guy who, I don't know his name, but this is the guy who uses the stand Gray Fly, or Tower of Gray. Yeah, this is, and I don't know, like, I don't even know what to say about this guy. Like, he freaking pretended like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom and see what's about to happen next, when he was clearly the guy who was piloting or using Tower of Gray. So, yeah. And, you know, him freaking touching the blood, I guess, was kind of like to see, like, oh wow, they gonna think that I'm just an innocent person. I mean, I guess the Joestar crew kind of thought that at first, I guess, but I don't really know. Anyways, he's going in an E. No, let's put him at a D. So the next character that we have here is Whole Horse, probably one of the most dumbest stand users, in my opinion, in the entire show, because I don't know, dude, like, I don't know. The only thing I really like about Whole Horse is that his stand is literally just a freaking gun. It's just a gun. It's not like a dude that like a humanoid. It's a weapon. And like, I don't know, but to me personally, he's probably one of the dumbest stand users in the entire show. This dude relied on a little kid just to try and take down the Joestar crew sometime later after he came back into the show. I think sometime after he you know, his injuries healed. But other than that, I really, like, he's probably one of the most dumb stand users out there. He's one of the dumbest stand users, well, in my opinion, because this dude is, like, super cocky. He relies, you know, on the women that fall in love with him. He relies on them to get away and stuff, I guess, whenever he's in danger, I guess. But other than that, he doesn't really deserve to go in any of these spots down here. So we're going to put him at a C, even though he's one of the dumbest stand users, in my opinion. But hey, that's where he's going to go. So the next character we have here is Holly Cujo. You already know what spot she's gonna go to. I mean, why? What reason I want to put her in this? Because she's so nice. I mean, really nice, you know? Yeah, that's definitely the only reason why I want to put her in S. Let's move on to the next one. So, next character we have here is Iggy, who is really, I guess, really big supporting character, I guess. I'm not sure. But he was introduced in episode 26 of the show, well, of the anime. And I'm not gonna lie, he seemed really annoying in the very, very beginning. I mean, he's a dog, so I mean, what do you expect? Dogs are well, it depends on what kind of dog you're talking about. Some dogs tend to be really lazy, some dogs tend to be really annoying, and some dogs tend to be freaking, I guess, really rebellious. And Iggy is like all three of those things freaking combined. So, I mean, later on in the show, especially when he went against Pet Shop, like, they'll let you know how strong of a guy, or how strong of a stand user this guy really is. And, like, as I said, even though he was quite annoying in the very beginning and pretty freaking rebellious, I mean, he ended up becoming a really good character sometime later on in the show. And I really like Iggy as a character. At first, I did not like him. But Iggy has actually grown on me a lot ever since. So, because of that, we're going to put him at an A. Next character we have here is Jay Guile, aka the guy who uses Hang Demand, or the Hang Demand stand. He's the guy that has two right hands. So, basically, it would be kind of like that. Like two right hands, but he's the guy who uses the Hang Demand stand. And I don't know, dude. He's the guy, I do know that he is the guy who killed Polnareff's sister, and this is the only reason why. And the only reason why Polnareff tagged along with the Joestar crew after he was defeated by Avdol was to kill Jay Guile, because he was the guy who killed his sister and, you know, had his way with her and all that bull crap. So, I mean, yeah, it's really sad the way his sister died and crap, you know, getting freaking, you know, getting murdered and getting all this crap done to you. But, I mean, you know, he went to great lengths to kill this guy. And when he did, he wanted to eventually break off from them, but eventually, you know, they convinced him to stay. But I personally don't find him appealing. He's going to the Shadow Realm immediately, in front of him or behind him. You know what I mean? So next character we have here is Jotaro Kujo, the titular character of Part 3. And as you can clearly see, I got his hat on right here. And the whole reason why I'm wearing this hat is because Jotaro Kujo is my all-time favorite JoJo out of any of them. And it's one of my favorite characters in the entirety of the show. And because of that, you already know he's going at an S right up here with his mom. So the whole reason I like Jotaro, I'm not putting him at an S just for the simple fact he's just my favorite character. I like him for a lot of reasons. One, because this dude may be disrespectful as hell, but if he likes you, he likes you. And he'll express that in such a way to the point where you're going to end up eventually knowing that he really does like you. I mean, this dude may seem really disrespectful on the outside, but in the inside, this dude got a real big heart. And he also has he also is the user of one of my favorite sands ever, Star Platinum. But yeah, even though he's disrespectful, well, in Part 3 that is, and later parts he probably isn't. He probably gets more respect because then again, he's only 17 in Part 3, so, you know, he's going through that phase, you know. But, you know, he tries to act cool, but sometimes he ends up, you know, losing that. So, yeah, as I said, one of the main reasons why I like him is because even though he may be disrespectful, this dude, if he likes you, he'll let you know. Like, you know, even though he calls his mom a bitch, you know, which, you know, if most parents in real life, if not every single parent or every single mom in real life, would probably kill their child if they were to ever say something like this, or ever say something like that to them. But, you know, I think the only reason why she's not offended by that is because she knows that her son isn't bad. Like, he's only just going through that type of phase. And I don't know, but maybe she's one of those moms. But, you know, yeah, if I ever said it to my mom, yeah, your boy probably wouldn't be sitting here right now. So, yeah, that's one reason he is my all-time favorite character, probably in JoJo. So, let's move on to the next character. So, the next character that we have here is Noriaki Kakyoin, or just Kakyoin. Now, one of my friends who basically forced me, in a way, kind of demanded me to watch the show, even though he kept on saying he didn't, but I still think so. I know you're watching this. But, yeah, so Kakyoin is also one of my favorite supporting characters, right behind Avdol. Right behind Avdol. So, Noriaki Kakyoin, a really lonely boy. He's the same age as Jotaro in Part 3 and sadly dies in Part 3. I really wish he would have freaking went on to in other parts. I really, really freaking wish that were the case, but sadly it wasn't. He was a really cool supporting character, a really cool side character, and he stayed with the Joestar crew ever since, the flesh bow was removed from his head that he got from Dio. Now, Hierophant Green, the freaking stand that he commands, I guess, is kind of cool. He's more of a mid-range or long-range stand to the point where he could just slither and go all that crap and just try to swing you hit you with your ropes and stuff like that. But, I mean, besides that, he is a really good character, and because of that, we're going to put him at an A tier. I mean, why not? Like, this dude is freaking also... The only thing I really don't like about Kakyoin, I mean, I'm pretty sure the homie is watching this, and if you are, I'm pretty sure you know exactly the one reason why I don't... one of the things I don't like about Kakyoin is this. Ah, so freaking uncomfortable. I can just... I'm not even watching the video, and God, it's so uncomfortable. Anyways, but... Yeah, Kakyoin, really good side character, and went out pretty bad. This dude got a whole freaking hole put through his chest by Dio after, he freaking punched him in the chest and sent him flying back into the clock. And the last thing this dude did was to hit the clock. And it took Joseph way too long to realize that, Dio could stop time. Anyways, so the next character we have here is the guy who was one of the in-game events of Stardust Crusaders. This is one of the last few stand users, or one of the last few stand users that Dio sent out to kill the Joestar crew. He was the guy who was making the mansion or the whole place seem like an illusion because that's what he was doing. And I think Magician's Red sliced him, and he sliced him in two. Boom, he's on the freaking ground dead. So he was a very, very minor character. And because of that, we're just gonna put him down here in the Shadow Realm. So the next character we have here, I'm not sure who this is. Oh, I know he is now. This is the guy who the barber who was I'll say slicing up Polnareff's chin. This is the guy who was shaving Polnareff's chin. And this is the guy who got possessed by him, sadly, or got possessed by Anubis. And he seemed like a really pretty nice guy at first, but I mean, I don't know. We're gonna put him at a C because I mean, if like the barber on his own, I had a seizure for a second, but the barber on his own really seemed like a really nice guy, a really genuine, really nice guy and stuff like that. So yeah, he also seemed like a pretty big softie. I'm just saying. But anyways, move on to the next question. I'm kind of running out of time here. So the next character we have here is the baby who some freaking random woman just told Joestar crew, hey, take this baby and freaking take him somewhere. We don't know whose baby this is. This ain't my baby. Take him somewhere, basically. And this is the guy who, or this is a little guy who freaking commands the stand, Death 13, who is the guy who was able to kind of send people in a dream whenever they're asleep. And this is the guy who damn near drove Kakyoin off the freaking edge. This dude was driving Kakyoin crazy, really crazy. So yeah, dude, that was freaking, yeah. Like, he was driving this dude freaking crazy. Anyway, we're gonna put him at a D tier, I guess. Actually, no, we're gonna put him at an E tier. He's our first character going into the E tier. Funny enough. So yeah, let's move on to the next character. Next character we have here is Mariah, who is the woman who, I guess, was one of Dio's, or was one of Dio's agents of Dio, I guess. And she was the woman to kind of have Joseph and Avdol doing those weird old little poses, especially Joseph. This dude got the worst of it, of course. I don't really find the appeal of her. We're gonna put her at the Shadow Realm. The next character we have here is the woman who almost killed Jotaro. And he or she was what's her name? Midler, I think was her name is, or whatever. I don't even know her real name. But this is the woman who, who was able to kind of take shape of anything that was in the water or something like that. And she trapped the Joestar crew in like the thing's mouth, and Jotaro broke through the teeth. And apparently we never actually saw what her face looked like after she got her teeth knocked out. Other than that, but yeah, we're gonna put her at the Shadow Realm, I guess, because I don't really see the purpose of her being up here. So yeah. Next character we have here is Indul, or Dul. I don't know how you say his name, but this is the guy who commands the stand. What is it? The guy who travels through like water and stuff. And he is just a blind man. And He's pretty IQ, pretty high IQ stand user, because this dude for real puts his ear to the ground to hear if there are any footsteps, or it can just sense with that little stick that he has. It's like, okay, who's moving? Oh, he's moving. Okay, let me just move it there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he's a pretty high IQ stand user. Probably by far one of my favorite enemy stand users, due to having such a high IQ. Because this dude is just a high IQ stand user. So we're gonna put him at a C. Next character we have here is if I can remember her name correctly, this is the woman who ended up putting the stand on Joseph's arm that attached to his arm. This is Nana. That's her name. Well, in a way, this is technically her disguised form. Her real form, she's just busted. You know, just a complete dumpster fire. Anyway, but yeah, so, I don't know, like, freaking, like, spitting on somebody's arm, or, like, what was it? I think she did spit on Joseph's arm or something like that, or I forgot what it was. I do know the stand got on his arm, and the stand may also kind of almost branded Joseph, or in a way did brand Joseph a criminal for murder, even though the stand murdered the doc or the medic himself. So yeah, yeah, you already know where she's going. So yeah, the next character we have here is I don't remember his name, but he is the guy who was in Dios's mansion. You know, he was the guy who was in Dios's mansion, who was one of the only other people who never got chosen by Dio for being his servant. So he was the guy who ended up getting bodied hella fast. So he's going right here at an E. If I can fucking move him right here at an E. Next character we have here is Oingo, the older brother to the guy, or to the kid who used the freaking comic book to predict the future. This is the guy, and I did say that Whole Horse was one of the dumbest stand users. This guy is the dumbest stand user ever, even though I think the only way he can do, even though I think his stand is like trying to modify his face. This dude tried to make it look like, and try to make himself look like Jotaro, and damn near died in the process. Like, technically he did die, but I mean, he's got gravely injured by the bomb he stepped on. Anyways, but yeah, just because of that, we're going to put him at an F tier due to how dumb this guy is. So we're now nearing the last few characters of this, but the next character we have here is Joseph Joestar, the old version of him. Probably by far the funniest JoJo ever. So, yeah, yeah, so, I don't know, dude, like, this guy, funny, you know, and stuff like that, tells way too many jokes. He almost freaking gave Jotaro a heart attack, at the very end of the, like, you know, getting, like, at the very, very last episode of the show of part 3. He damn near gave Jotaro a heart attack by, you know, because he was trying, oh, wow, look, Dio has possessed my body. I'm basically saying, like, you know, he pretended he was going to prank him. Even though, dude, you know, his grandson literally just had the worst, like, the most traumatic experience of his life. But other than that, we're going to have to put him at an A tier because, you know, he's still the funniest guy ever. So the next character we have here is Suzy Q, who is the technical wife of Joseph, even though Joseph cheated on her. But really nice lady. She freaking cares about her grandchildren, aka and her children, Holly, for example, and her grandchildren, Totaro. And, you know, even though, you know, Joseph cheated on her, she still liked him. So yeah, because of that, we're gonna put her at an A tier as well, up here with her good old husband. Next character we have here is Pet Shop, who is well, apparently he's a falcon. I thought he was a hawk, but he's a falcon apparently. But this is the guy who damn near killed Iggy. This guy was on the verge of killing this guy. And I found him to be like, you know, just like a falcon or a hawk, whatever he's supposed to be. This dude's really freaking like perceptive and stuff. He's really able to freaking look around corners and crap. So because of that, we're going to put him at a C. I can't really give explanations for these guys anymore because I'm running out of time here. So we're going to finish this up quick. So we got 6 characters left. So the next character we have is Jean-Pierre Polnareff, who is, in my opinion, the Ian Yorkland of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. And Ian Yorkland is this guy right here. For anybody who doesn't know who he is, he's from Kyryuger. He is like one of those side characters who gets pissed off really easily. For anybody who knows what I mean. So, yeah, but in my opinion, he is a really good side character, you know, and apparently he comes back in part 4. And mind you, I started part 4 a couple weeks ago. So I don't really know if he does come back in part 4 or part 5, I think. I think it's one of them. But he's going at an A tier, just like most of the other people up here. So next character we have here is one of the dudes who has served the Joestar family for years. He's a really cool guy, really freaking nice, and just really emotional. And because of that, we're going to put him in A tier. Next character we have here is Rubber Soul, who commands the stand, Yellow Temperance, and pretty freaking cocky guy. We're going to put him over here at a D tier. Next, we'll put him in E tier. Next character we have here is Steely Dan. Really sexy man. I can't freaking say anything else. When he was first freaking revealed, he was really sexy. I thought so. And, you know, until he got a well-deserved ass beating by Star Platinum and Jotaro Kujo. We're going to put him over down here in E, even though he's really hot. Next character we have here is freaking one of the other guys, one of the last few stand users of Dio, and we're gonna put him at F. We're gonna put him right here. And the last character we have here is ZZ, the guy who did the car thing and almost burnt Jotaro on fire, or almost burnt him to death. So yeah, we're also gonna put him in that shower room too. Anyways, that's it for this tier list. I had to get all of that in one take. And the only reason why I did that is because I'm almost out of time. And in a way, I am out of time. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up quick. So this is my tier list. If you don't agree with me, then let me know in the comments down below for anybody who watches this. If you don't agree with me, just let me know. So anyways, with that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. I got to go freaking edit this really long video. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.